Number 5, Karis LeVert. Remember Karis LeVert, the guy that found a mass lump on his kidney, had to stop playing basketball for a while, was with Indiana Pacers. Kobe Altman, the president of the Cleveland Cavaliers, has gotten him to the Cavs on expiring contracts like Ricky Rubio, and he's done some amazing things in a lottery-protected first-round pick and multiple second picks. Let me tell you what I love this for Cleveland. Guys, they're ranked 4th in the East. Cleveland is ranked 4th in the East. You combine Karis LeVert with the likes of Darius Garland, with the likes of Jared Allen that came over from Brooklyn, even with Evan Mobley. We were calling him a young baby Bosch. This team is destined to have a chance to compete for the Eastern Conference title. Cleveland without LeBron. Moving on.
At 4.
Brian Windhorst says the Nets and the Sixers are talking James Harden trade. So yesterday I was laughing because JWill Embiid before the game was watching Madrid play soccer-wise, and he was saying things like, oh, we got to make a move. Make the call. Get it done. And everybody on Twitter was reacting to the fact that he thought they were talking about the James Harden trade. It just reminds me of how comedic social media is and Twitter is during these moments when everybody and their mom is thinking, what would JWill Embiid and James Harden be like on the same team? And would that want to give the Brooklyn Nets heads up if they're able to get a guy like Ben Simmons combined with a guy like maybe Seth Curry? Who knows? We'll see. Moving on.
At 3.
Russell Westbrook comments on the latest fourth quarter benching. I mean, come on. This is getting worse and worse and worse. And here's what I'm going to say. LeBron James and Russell Westbrook are so similar. A lot of people didn't think it would work from the beginning. You know why? Because Russell isn't that cerebral. And I think you saw multiple times last night. Russ is incredible. He gets you triple doubles. He has a hindrance of shooting the ball. But LeBron needs Russell to be cerebral and understand how to make everybody else better around him. He can only do that with the ball in his hands, Max. We have not seen Russell Westbrook do that without the ball in his hands. And what, we're going to have LeBron James be a spot-up three-point shooter? I'm sorry, guys. I want the ball in LeBron James' hands. It's not going to work with the Lakers this year. Moving on.
At 2.
Sacramento Kings are just doing Sacramento King things, guys. I mean, I get it that they get Domantas Sabonis. I mean, he's a 2-time All-Star. But nobody in the NBA, no one in the NBA saw Tyrese Halliburton being traded. He was one of the best young guards there is in the league. And now I see Halliburton and Buddy Hield going to the Pacers. The Pacers were thinking about doing a rebuild. But now you're talking about what they added. They're going to be right back in the mix. And it makes me always wonder, what the hell is going on, Sacramento? What are you doing? Are we making the same decisions that we made before in the past, which has been bad decision after bad decision? Moving on.
And running point.
Number 1, man, it's just CJ McCollum going to the Pelicans. I mean, it was Norman Powell and Covington, Robert Covington being traded before. They are just absolutely clearing out house in Portland. I just want to remind people, it was several years ago that Portland was in the Western Conference Finals. Western Conference Finals. Dame was making bucket after bucket. We were talking about this team contending for a NBA championship. And now Norman Powell, Robert Covington, CJ McCollum, that dangerous backcourt that they have is no longer. Now we're talking about a rebuild in Portland from Dame Lillard. It's just crazy to me how quickly we've gotten there for Dame Dollar.
Unless they're thinking about Ben Simmons in Portland. I don't know. The Blazers are in rebuild, right?
Is that going to be enough to get you to a Western Conference Finals?
So, no, but you're right. What they were doing wasn't either. So what's next for Portland is now the question, right? Here is Brian Windhorst on Bart and Hahn. Listen.
I don't think they're done yet. So I would keep an eye out for the following move. Maybe not this week, but maybe around the draft. And then you come to Dame this summer, and he's eligible for a contract extension, which I think he's likely to sign if they're willing to offer it. So I think what they're looking for is they're trying to get younger and retrofit the roster, because the team that they had was okay, but they weren't, proving to be significant contenders.
I'm still in shock that this trade went down. I mean, you said Ben Simmons, but what assets do you have to get Ben Simmons? Yeah. And it's like they made moves. Like they went out, they gave Norman Powell the bag and then they let him go like a year later. Like Robert Covington was there, he left, he came back, now he's gone. And just the CJ McCollum thing, I think the Pelicans get better. The Pelicans are going to now make a push to try to get in the play-in spot, which is shocking for them. I would never thought they would have been in this conversation. I understand that they want to build around Anthony Simmons, and I get that Dame is something that is a staple there. I just don't understand the reasoning behind it, Key. I don't know what person that you can bring to Portland. And we talk about, hey, Cincinnati, right? Winning games. That has to be a reason why you want to come to Cincinnati, right? Joe Burrow winning games. They're in the Super Bowl. When do you see Portland winning games in the West? Like, what do you – there's so many questions around this team. It's just
Key,
it's
the
mind-boggling.
Damian Lillard's like the Matthew
why
Stafford of the NBA, you know? You're not in a winning situation.
Jay, why didn't they, beginning of the year in the whole Ben Simmons, why didn't they participate at a heavy level in the Ben Simmons sweepstakes with CJ? Is it because all of a sudden he had the injury and that kind of threw him off a little bit in Philadelphia in terms of – because I always thought that was a play for them, is to move CJ to Philly
That's
and
what I
get
thought.
Ben Simmons in return. But now you look up and he's at the Pelicans. They don't have any trade assets. Even when the offseason comes, the only trade asset you got is Dame Lillard. So what is that going to look like, right? Are you going to move him? Because you say you want to start, at least when he say that they want to start all over again and get young, do you move Dame Lillard to Philadelphia? Does he want to go to Philly in exchange for Ben Simmons and some other stuff?
Key, all I know is yesterday, and we're going to do it, I wrote this letter because, and I understand that he's 10 toes down and that he is built and he wants to stay in Portland, but I was one of those millions of people yesterday on social media just begging Dame, you deserve better, Dame. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.